Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday night. Saturday night. You remember that song?
Oh, yes. I am that old.
I took ourselves back there.
Mhm. Bay
Happy,
City Rollers.
yeah. Happy December 2nd, everybody. Let's have you guys come on in. Let us know where you're from, and we'll get going in a little bit. We're just gonna talk about celebrating our accomplishments. And it's a really important piece because I feel that we don't do it. I feel that we don't do it. And I feel that if we did it more often, I think we would start to feel better.
Absolutely.
I really do. I really do. I think it's an important thing. So let's say hello to people.
Hello, people.
Ellen Jane, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Christine, thank you for being here. Vicky, hello. There's no football games? No football games? So good to have you. Christine's in Winnipeg, Canada. Thank you to Canadian friends. The chilly, very chilly. Betty Scott, thank you for being here. Thank you. Karen, thank you for being here. Gloria, how are you, Gloria? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So I am here, everybody. We'll give everybody a minute to get in. But I am here today with my friend Janet Zavala because she is, first of all, you're amazing. Second of all, you have such a passion. I think we match each other in the passion that we do in our work. And I think it's really important to have people that, we've been through our stuff. We both had stuff and we've both been through it. And I think it's important for those people that are going through it to say, like, hey, there is light on the other side. There is hope on the other side. There is trust and everything of goodness on the other side once we get out of our yuck.
Absolutely.
And stop staying in the yuck. So Janet and I met back in 2019.
2020.
Sorry, why do I want to keep on saying 2019? Oh, that was speaker program. So 2020 at Dougal Fraser's Healing Circle. And that was getting a bunch of people in the healing arts that are entrepreneurs and how to run a business from a ethical, integrity. Integral. It's a new word. And with integrity, and to have just a connection. And those people in that class, I would say there's been many classes that I've been in, but those people, we just really clicked. I mean, it was a really good class. And I have to tell you, Janet, you guys, was the most organized out of all of us. I mean, she had, I'm like, I love that wall calendar.
That one over there, see?
Yep, I still see it, yep. And I went down to just 1 month because it was
too much.
Scaring me. Yeah, it's scaring me. So Janet is a coach. She is a best-selling international author. We are in this book together. We're in Own Your Awesome. It's compiled by Kira Schaefer. And your chapter is Honoring the Landscape of Your Life. That's a really great chapter. She has written this book, The Nature of Transformation. You also have a workbook that goes with this book.
Yes. You can order it on Amazon, but it's also free for a download on my website. So.
Which is awesome. JanetZavalaCoaching.com. It's right there in her right there in her link right there. And then also she's in another book, and Ignite Your Fire. I ordered it, but it didn't come yet. So I don't know what. It was supposed to be here this morning. So Ignite Your Fire, and also a compilation book. And your chapter and that is about
This one is called Midlife Motivation, Relighting an Extinguished Fire.
lighting an extinguished fire. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Because
like
I
it.
feel like in midlife, for a lot of women, and it goes with kind of, empty nest or just this desire. You've done everything that you're supposed to do. You build your career, you have kids, or you go to school, you do all the things. And then in midlife, you're like, what about me? And you don't know what to do. So
Yep.
you're struggling. You need to relight that fire. And I think that that's an inner desire of all of us who reach a certain age.
That's so true. And I don't want to give anything away because I'm going to be working once this book is out, this new book that I'm doing out. I have another book that I already got like a download of the outline. I'm going to share the title with you in private chat, but I like your title of your book. So that is going to be my title of the book, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say anything till the book is almost published. So
Awesome.
all of you will have to um, think about that. Let's continue to say hello to everybody. So Lori and Beth and Susan and hi Irma and Joy and Dina, Leslie, thank you for being here. Sheila and Kelly, hello Kelly, and Sharon, Christy. Christy's going to be our guest on December 23rd. So you're going to want to come in back and see her and I.
I had a reading with Christy. She's awesome. I
love
recommend
it.
it highly.
That. Awesome. Cindy, hello, and Jean, hello. Thanks for being here. So let's get down and talk. Tell me, why don't we celebrate our accomplishments? What would you say would be the reason why people don't do it?
I think that there are a lot of reasons, and I think that something that I'm trying to do with my work right now with coaching women in midlife and in their business and careers is that we talk about power penalties and how if we are we don't want to appear too strong. We don't want to appear too aggressive or egotistical, or so we often soften our opinions, soften our skills, soften our contributions. We downplay them. So we think that we'll be more accepted, or people, will gravitate to us or relate to us. I think that we have a hard time stepping into our strengths to say, I'm Janet, I'm a great coach, I'm a good writer. It's hard for people to say that stuff because, we've got this perception that it's egotistical. You could say, Christy is an amazing astrologer, right? We know that. It might be hard for us to say it. So I think that we often soften our power so not to be perceived in a negative light.
I think many people that I run into, and I know that we run into the same circles, Jenna and I, but I would say also too, a lot of it is imposter syndrome.
Yes. Yeah.
That it's like, well, what if? And how can I? So I feel better if I don't say anything. Like,
That's right.
I'm not that good of a coach because there's other people that are so much better than I am. And like Lisa Randall just said, we downplay ourselves. Yeah, we do. And that is challenging. It's very challenging.
We don't feel worthy of our success. We don't feel worthy of our skills and our abilities. So, and our talents. So we downplay them.
So how do we transform? How do we do? Sorry, had to. How do we transform? How do we shift that?
Awareness is always the first thing, right? So, I mean, whatever you need to do to kind of have that stillness, to be aware. And I think that, being around friends and people who can help you too. What I notice is when I was communicating with a friend last week, and she texted me some achievement, and then immediately after she's like, oh, but it's not that much, and so I think that we need to be very aware of the language that we use about ourselves, and we need to stop it. Even if we don't feel it internally, if we don't feel that confidence internally, we just need to be very aware of the language that we're using, especially out loud. There's the thoughts in our head and then the language that we use. we need to not downplay ourselves or diminish our achievements. It's very, very detrimental. You know,
And
it tells people how to treat us. It
right.
tells people what opportunities to give us, and then it just seeps in deeper into our psyche and creates more negativity.
And because words are power, everyone, that those words have energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, both of us say this. We both have said, you know, like, well, you know, this can't be that great because of this, and I don't know about this, and blah blah blah. That is having energy. If
Mm-hmm.
you're not lifting yourself up and doing this,
Mm-hmm.
nobody else is going to do it unless you start standing into that energy.
Mm-hmm. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It's everything.
Lisa says, I always say it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal.
It is.
So why would you say that, Lisa? Why say it's not a big deal? What what are we saying about that verbiage? Hi Chris, good to see you here. Thanks for being here. Why do we do the things that we do and say what we say? So we're not coming from ego. So we're not um elevating our stuff. We are diminishing our self-worth. And what you're repeating is that constant diminishing. And somebody in your life has taught you that.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm
And
seeing in the comments. People are talking about. Christine said, you know, I was raised to not, that pride was a sin. Somebody was raised to make themselves smaller. Like we are given those messages very young. You know, who do you think you are? You know, it, whether it's in school or teachers or parents or you know, bullies on the schoolyard. You know, we're given those messages by other people.
um, Alvia says, hand pink waving. Hand pink waving. Hi. Hi. I don't, yeah. Um, Lisa said, don't brag. Okay. Yeah. Cindy says, it isn't good if you're not happy with the end result. To keep going till you're happy with the result. Go
I
ahead.
think both of us could debate that one. I think that, you know, if you put a level of effort in and you make progress and you learn a lesson or you know, I think that none of us start something and we're good at it, right? We need to practice. And so, you know, that's okay not to be perfect. I think that speaks to perfectionism, right? Where we want to be perfect, and that is a myth. That doesn't exist. So, you know, there is learning and there's growing, but it's also to say, you know what, I did good. I showed up and I fought past my fear. You can identify the things that you did well in any situation.
Right. Because I think we look at how we're always comparing ourselves
Mm,
to somebody else. So here's what I'm going to suggest to all of you. And I think, Janet, you've mentioned it too. Compare yourself to how you were yesterday.
mm-hmm.
How were you the week before? Compare yourself to you and how you used to do it and how you're doing it now, and see
Mm-hmm.
yourself in that light. And
Absolutely.
that will be able for you to reach an accomplishment that isn't so far-fetched that
Mm-hmm.
you know that you will never achieve it.
Yeah. And comparison is just like the death of creativity, and nobody wants you to be a carbon copy of somebody else or do something like somebody else does. Everybody has their unique style and their unique skills that they bring to it. And something that I'm kind of teaching in some of the workshops that I'm doing is the 6 pillars of authenticity. And it really takes into consideration who you are authentically, your natural talents, your skills and abilities, your values, your priorities, all of these things, because those things are unique to you. And those things will make you stand out. Your uniqueness, your authenticity.
And how do we, because you talked about this on TikTok the other day
Mhm.
about stepping out of fear.
Mhm.
What are like some tips that we can do? Because I think that fear plays such a big piece in not acknowledging who we are.
That's right. That's right. And I want everybody to understand that everybody feels fear. Everybody feels nervous and fear doesn't go away. But, I think the first thing that you can do is ask yourself, or clearly identify what that fear is, and then
Mm.
ask yourself, is that true for me right now in this situation? Or is this carried over from old messages from the past? Is this something that is no longer valid? So I think that's the first thing is it true for me right now? And then I want you to imagine, what would life be if you didn't have that fear? What
Okay.
could you do? What amazing things could you achieve if you didn't have that fear holding you back? And like I said, fear doesn't go away by itself. Confidence is achieved through action. So,
Mm.
what small thing can you do to take action anyway? So, if you wanted to be a writer, like Elias and I, but you're nervous and you don't know what to do, what small action can you take every day that will bring you closer to that goal? So whether it's, creating a morning routine where you wake up and meditate, right? And that will lead to you taking more direct action, but you will get more confident through action. Confidence doesn't show up and knock at your door and say, "I'm here, let's go." It will never do that. So you have to do in order to feel that fear kind of drifting away.
I like this part. Confidence is action.
Mhm.
And we talk about manifesting that you have to feel it. You have to do stuff. Now, Facebook user says small action can add up to big things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Small actions taken consistently equals big results.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you guys feel about all this? Is this uncomfortable for anybody? Is it uncomfortable to toot your own horn and
Mhm.
say, you know what, I did this, or I accomplished this, or this is something that really meant a lot, and I'm going to own it? Does that feel weird for everybody? Put it in the comments and let us know. Do you own your self-worth, which
Mhm.
is what it comes down to. It
Absolutely.
really does. I mean, I think it's really something that's really important. Leanne says, I'm putting on my slipper because my feet are cold.
Mhm.
She says a little. Yes, it's uncomfortable for me. Okay. Cindy says, I never thought that I had fear till listening to me. Then I paid attention. It was there in my anger.
Mhm.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm learning to. Okay. When we step up and say yes to ourselves, as I said this on TikTok, the universe says yes back.
Yes. Yes.
When you say, everyone, well, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's my job anyway. Um, well, you could have looked that up in a book.
Mhm.
Whatever you want to say, that's degrading the
Mhm.
information that you received and how you received it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're saying no to divine, we'll just say divine intervention, and then you want it, that's kind of confusing.
Mhm.
Lisa said, one of my least favorite sayings, it is what it is. Because, well, it's a choice that we make. It's a
Mhm.
choice that we make. We have to, like Janet said, we have to take the action step, and to get what we want, we have to say that I'm going to move mountains. How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Hey, Serena. I think of us were taught to be humble. So saying that we do something well seems to feel wrong. I appreciate this conversation to help me reframe this idea. Okay, that's what we're here
Mm-hmm.
for. What what are ways to reframe it, Janet? What would you say?
I think that all of the things that we talk about, all of the kind of tools and techniques, meditation or journaling or anything else. But when you were talking earlier, what I thought, because you mentioned how we both had gone through stuff, and everybody's gone through stuff. If they're on this here on this planet, you've been through something that has not been ideal. But my desire has always been bigger than my fear.
Hmm.
So, really dig deep into what you want and why you want it. What's your motivation? And I've always kind of had this thought in my mind that I did not want my own fear to prevent me from reaching my full potential. I kind of say it in a joking way, like, at the end of this life cycle, I don't want to have to come back and repeat these same mistakes. So I want to achieve the things that I'm supposed to be here to do. And if I'm getting the hits, I talk about it all the time. I used to get the hit all the time. Right, right, right. And I'm like, my gosh, like stop it. And until I started writing, that's when, it kind of subsided. So you are supposed to be here to do things, and stepping into your potential, your destiny, is one way to kind of really push past that fear and make your desire bigger than your fear.
So when you were talking, I was closing my eyes, and what I saw was this. Do you remember when we were in grade school and probably kindergarten, first grade, second grade, when we got those little gold stars next to our names?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if all of you made a list of stuff that you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And as you did it, it's different when you check it off. But what happens if you went out and bought yourself a gold star?
Love it. Yeah.
What happens if you put a gold star by your to-do list instead of just cross it off? What happens if you applauded yourself for not having that extra slice of chocolate cake that's in the refrigerator? Or what happens if you have an eggnog bundt cake from the Costco and you didn't have that extra slice that you could because it's just sitting there on the counter? What happens if you can just say, you know, as silly as that may sound, I'm going to give myself a gold star.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Absolutely.
Serena says, the desire motivation needs to be bigger than the fear. Agreed. Agreed. And Janet just said that
Mm-hmm.
that's an important piece. So, what is it that you can do, everyone? What are you committed to doing that's going to show you that you are moving uphill instead of downhill? And here's the other thing, don't bite off more than you can chew.
Right.
If you know that an accomplishment, you're not feeling accomplished because you were supposed to fish in the lake 3 days to get this amazing seafood, and you only are able to do that once because it was too cold, or what, I'm coming up with just crazy silly nonsense. But it's really important to say, I did it and I'm going to make it doable for me.
And I think this time of the year, it's really good to reflect back on this year. Where did you start 2023, and where have you ended up, and what have you accomplished? What are all the things that you have done? You know, big and little. It doesn't need to be some big, you know, ginormous thing. Maybe you started a meditation practice. Maybe you stepped into your exercise routine. Just whatever it is that, you can be proud of yourself and reflect back that this is something, these are the things that you accomplished in this year.
Right. Barbara says it's important to remember that we deserve our success.
Yes.
So true. no matter how big, no matter how small,
Mhm.
I could say, okay, so here I am. I didn't I didn't go into the editing today. Or yesterday. Yesterday I was so exhausted because I didn't sleep well. I took a nap. That was taking care of me. So instead of saying, oh, you didn't do this and oh, you didn't do that, bad me, bad me, bad me, bad me, I went and I was like, I'm going to take care of myself. And that's a gold star for me.
Mhm.
That's a gold star. Um, go ahead and tell them another exercise that's really good. I'm going to let Missy out because Miss Willow is like sitting here going, okay,
Yeah.
so go ahead, tell them, and I'll let her write out. Come on, okay.
And no pressure there. Another exercise that is really good. Um, I think that I always encourage people to set a vision for their future. And I'll tie this back to kind of celebrating yourself. But when you create a vision for your life in 5 years or out into the future, you are reprogramming your brain for positivity. So when you have something that you can look out to and something that you're working towards, it brings an excitement and confidence to you. So actually, doing some visioning again, this is the perfect time of year, but you can do it anytime where you're looking at what do you want to achieve, what do you want to have, or how do you want to feel in the future. I think that you can design your life exactly how you want it, but putting out that vision and then really identifying why, the motivation behind it. What's your motivation? And so, say, if you wanted a big career opportunity, maybe some executive level thing, and you want this executive level, and you say that the motivation is money. Well, I would double click on that. I would actually identify the true motivation, because money is not a motivation. It's the feeling behind having that money that's the motivation, right? So, how do we want to feel? And then if you have that vision, that is ambitious and it's something that, is out into the future. You can identify, like, okay, what do you need to get there? What skills, what resources, what help do you need to get there? And start identifying that. So when you start to plan your life, when you start to look forward to the life that you actually want to live, you're able to, reprogram your brain for positivity, and you're able to create that desire that overrides the fear. And the fear is still going to be there. And Elizabeth Gilbert talks about it in Big Magic. I've got her book back there, but she talks about fear in the context of fear being in the car with you when you're driving. So is fear driving the car and making all the decisions of where you're going, and you don't have a say in it? Is fear in the passenger seat, not driving, but still telling you where to go, navigating it? Or you put fear in the back seat and say, you know what? I see you back there. I acknowledge you, but I'm going to drive this car. I'm going to live this life exactly how I want. So fear isn't controlling your actions.
So true. And I love oh yeah, I just drew a blank. Gilbert, what did you just say?
Elizabeth Gilbert.
Elizabeth Gilbert, yes. It's important to remember we deserve our success. So true.
Mhm.
So true. I doubt it changes on me all the time. Well, I mean, you know, here it is. Here it is that, that doubt pops in and
Mhm.
we're like, oh, I do that, but it changes steady. So think about, how can we have consistency, everybody? How can we have consistency in our accomplishments? And I don't mean you have to be perfect, everybody. It's not about being perfect. It's about saying that I'm consistent in showing up each day. I'm consistent for doing what I need to do for myself today.
Mhm.
I'm consistent in taking the time to stop and acknowledge my wins. And like you said earlier about stepping into your fear. When you step into your fear, everybody, you are saying, I acknowledge this fear. I am not going to avoid it. I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm going to say, thank you. You came in for a reason. You came in for a reason. I was so fearful about driving by myself 2,000 miles. I was so fearful about being in, what's the place? Oh gosh. Give me a second. I'll have to look it up. But I was what is the gentleman that oh, I know what it is. Okay. I found it. Okay, there it is. I was so scared to go to was it Waco? No, it's not Waco. Where did Matthew Shepard where he was?
I don't know, but I remember. Yeah.
Gosh, I totally.
Montana, or I feel like it was.
This was in Wyoming. Sorry, in Laramie, Wyoming. I was really fearful because I was driving through that. Thanks, Rudy. Good to see you. I was so nervous about that, and I could not. And I was staying in that town. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna see a gay man with two dogs and being like, what are they gonna do? I mean, this was going on in my brain. That fear of, oh my God, here I am by myself. I don't know anybody. I'm driving 2,000 miles, and here I am in this town where they are not friendly. And just let me get out. I didn't even go out of the hotel. I just stayed at the Days Inn. I ordered something in, I think. No, I took the dogs and we went through a drive-through. And then I brought the food back. And then in the morning, I just left. Until the next town that I could go get something to eat. It's silly. It's crazy. But that fear, so I acknowledged it. I said, why did that show up? Well, it showed up to say that, A, I'm not alone. And B, that we can do whatever we think we can do when we believe in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's important. It's important to look at our stuff, everybody, instead of hide it or shove it underneath the rug or whatever you do.
Yeah.
I think if we are consistent in looking at our fear, acknowledging it, moving through it, asking for support while we're doing it, then to celebrate that I did it, that you guys did it.
Yeah. And what everybody has those moments. I call them my existential crisis, and I have it every couple months or so where I'm like, what is it all for? What am I doing? This is a waste of time. And, as we're trying to build our businesses and do these things, like, it's just like, I have those moments, and it's usually come out of frustration or things aren't going like I want them to go. And like you said, sometimes you just need a nap. I think Abraham Hicks says, like, I think it was Abraham Hicks, maybe it was Anne Lamott, sorry. But, if it's not working, just take a nap. Just take a nap, get some reset, get some self-care in there, and then, rebound, because we all go through those periods of time where, we get really down, but then we have to pick ourselves back up.
So true. So true. You just came off of an amazing women's conference that you were a speaker at, and you were the keynote speaker, no?
Well, it was an industry conference, and so within that, they've got a women's group, and I created a 4-part series, a workshop. So I did one virtually, I did it in person, and I'm going to do another virtual one in a few weeks. So yeah.
Good. Excellent. So tell everybody what you got coming up. What's going on for you?
Yeah, so more of that. More workshops. I'll be doing some in May with the same group, and a lot of other groups are reaching out to me. Different women's groups that what I really speak about is women empowerment and helping women own their strengths and step into their power, and design their careers the way they want to. We have a lot of struggles in corporate America for women, and a lot of people, but so just helping women kind of define what it is that they truly want, step into their authenticity, and make decisions about their life and their careers through doing that. So lots of that stuff coming up.
I want to quote Janet in her book, and it says this. This is from Own Your Awesome. There was a point in my life when I realized the way I had been living was no longer bearable. The discomfort of staying stuck exceeded the discomfort of making a change. I tried to reason my way through it and convince myself it would get better. I thought, I'll just stay here. It won't be too bad if I shrink myself and don't make a move. I could not stay still. I squirmed uncontrollably, the body's natural reaction to confinement. I needed to change positions. Angrily, I thought, why can't I just be still and accept the situation as is? She goes on to say, as this realization sunk in, I journaled. The exit from hell burns most at the exit. I just love that. I love that. That's where the hottest heat and the raging fire are. Just get past the exit and you can heal. For my own survival, my marriage needed to end. I've been stuck in a cycle of fear and codependency for 20 years. I knew my wounds would eventually heal if I could make it through the fiery exit. If I stayed in the hell of my own creation, never attempting to get out, I would be stuck and the pain would be never ending. Guys, that's just in the first 2 pages of Own Your Awesome. You did such a great job with this chapter and such a great job with this book. Guys, just don't walk, run. Go to janetZavalaCoaching.com, get the books, and see. I hear you. Oof, felt that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it is important to know that look where she is now. I have it the wrong way. Look where she is now. You are totally on the other side of that fence,
Right.
of that exit sign. And, did it burn a little?
I had convinced myself like everything would be horrible. Everything would be horrible, but I could live with that horrible. I couldn't live with the disaster that I had played a part in creating. So even if it was just a little bit better, like I needed to push forward. I needed to push forward. So you have to, and I think I write in the new chapter that I just submitted, but you have to have desire, and you have to be an active participant in your own manifestation. You have to believe, and you have to be an active participant. Our lives are not going to improve just automagically. We have to take action. And I'm telling you, everything that we've been saying, the small actions every day. I started meditating. I started reading or learning about, spirituality, like just little steps every day to kind of heal yourself and then, realize what you are really capable of.
Right. And the step doesn't matter how big, how small. It's just, even if it's an inch forward, good for you that it's an inch forward.
Yes.
Good for you that you did that. And maybe, just maybe, it was like, well, I didn't do anything today, but I did rest. I did take time because that ouch, that that fear needed for me to just sit in it, feel it, and then wake up and be like, okay, now I'm going forward. I think your dog needs something this time.
Yeah, she wants to get up, but she's not going to. I was seeing if she wanted to sit on my lap, but no.
Oh, okay. Because Willow really had to go. She's like, oh. I'm like, okay. Usually she jumps up on me when she has to go, but she was in the other room. So you got workshops coming up. Any online workshops that you're going to be teaching?
I haven't planned any online workshops, but coaching is available, and I think that probably mid-year I'm going to be planning some online workshops or so, some courses. I'm trying to develop all that. I'm creating my strategic plan for 2024. So lots of stuff happening and coming out. But like Elias always says with his, get on my email list, and you'll get all that information. So
what is your, or I should say, who is the ideal client for you?
I love coaching women. I love coaching women who are really looking for that reinvention to, kind of step out of, the conditions that they are in, whether it's being held back by fear or wanting to move into kind of their midlife magic. That's one of my coaching programs, is Awaken Your Midlife Magic, because I feel like women at this time have so much wisdom and talent and intelligence to offer the world, that I want women in this time period to really step into the magic that they have. So coaching women during this stage, and career coaching, and coaching women to embrace their power. I'm really passionate about empowering women to make choices in their life that are empowering and healthy for themselves.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And guys, again, it's JanetZavalaCoaching.com. And you have sign up for the email. It's really important. There's a link on there to sign up, correct?
Yes.
Like, yes. Yeah. And anytime you have something going on, you wanna help with a book or whatever. Again, guys, there's this. If you want to hold up the other book, Janet, there's that book, and then there's this book. And Janet told me before we got on, you just submitted to be in another book.
Yes.
That's coming out, and that'll be out in a couple months.
Yes. Yeah. We don't have a date for it yet, but yeah, that topic that I wrote about is navigating manifestation's messy middle, because this manifestation that I'm in right now, it's been a 10-year process, and it got really, really messy in the middle. So you got to have that kind of awareness.
Jamie said she just did some of her Nature's Transformation workbook today. Yes, and Chris is like, you're busy. Wow, she is. She's and she has a full-time job on top of it, guys.
I do.
So it is crazy. But Janet and I are planning to be doing a retreat together. We're contemplating fall of next year, so it'd be obviously after Greece, the Greece trip, and I'll have more on that in the next couple of weeks. Let's see what is going on. We have messages from above tomorrow on Sunday, 9 a.m. So if you have not signed up, please go to eliaspatras.com. We've got, I'll probably be on TikTok a little later tonight. And Janet's on TikTok. Let's get her to 1,000 followers, guys, so she can go on live.
I'm so close.
And I really, really would love for you to, because I'm going to be like, where are you? And I'm going to go to you.
756.
756. She's 146 away, guys. 146 away. And that's so exciting when you get there. So exciting. It is important help and support that. And she's on there almost every day. Please comment, guys. This is how Janet gets more the algorithm, whatever. It's nice to put the little heart on there, but even if you put a heart in the comment, that's important because it shows up as a comment. It shows that somebody is looking at them, and it's that algorithm that needs to get going. I don't understand it, but
And
that's how it goes.
I read somewhere recently because I was looking at trends for algorithms for 2024. So comments are like that are good, but long comments are really good, and also like saves and shares. So if you like do the little savey thing, that little
Whatever it is.
yeah.
High tech stuff that I don't understand. So I want to thank you for being here. You know that you're always welcome. Next week we have Patricia Cobo doing soul, talking about soul's energy, our energy of our soul. And remember, Patricia Cobo, Patty Cobo does those soul paintings. And the following weekend, we have our lovely Christy talking about astrological signs, what's happening for 2024. And then on the 30th, we have Ginger in Premium talking about our heart's energy. So super excited. And we will let you know as soon as Jen and I know when we are going to do the fall retreat. We will let you guys know. Thanks for the lesson of life. You are welcome. Welcome. As always, guys, we are so appreciative of all of you. It is really, really, it's really important when you show up. Because that means the world for us as we are growing our careers here. And we really appreciate you. So, from our hearts to yours, thank you. We are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And when we educate, we grow. There is unity in community. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Janet, hold the thought for a second.